Oh, this is awesome. I think Pat Riley might have an actual plan going into the NBA trade deadline. And no, it's not just waiting for Giannis. If this report from Kelly Iko of Yahoo Sports is true, we'll get to it here in a second. But we obviously know the preferred outcome over the next 9 days as the deadline approaches on February 5th is to have Giannis request a trade and us to pounce, give everything that we possibly could to get Antetokounmpo to South Beach. And we know Miami would be willing to offer everything, no matter what it is. If it's not Bam Adebayo, I think Miami's offering it. That is what Pat Riley is willing to do. But there is a report from Kelly Iko that suggests the Heat are doing other things potentially as well that make a lot of sense. Kelly, in a mailbag, was asked, outside of Giannis, what are they doing? Well, he responded that Ja Morant's been a connection, but the Heat are thought to be seeking smaller scale deals that would further fortify their asset war chest, positioning them for Giannis or a similar scale superstar if and when they become available. And this, to me, is such an important report. And yeah, it was in a mailbag, but Iko's tapped in. He has sources. He's more based in Houston, like he's really connected to the Rockets, but he has sources in the NBA. In that quote right there, I wanted to pull a quote from the quote, that they're seeking smaller scale deals that would fortify their assets. This is what I have been trying to say on our shows the last 2 weeks. That, hey, you want to get Giannis? Cool. So do I. But if you are serious in acquiring him, you need to do proactive things to make sure you have enough draft capital and enough assets to compete with other trade offers out there from teams also pursuing Giannis. And I feel excited that the Heat might actually have a plan. So much so that I'm saying, whoa, he might have a plan. Hit that thumbs up icon if you're ready for Heat basketball to return on Wednesday and help us out here at the channel. And this is the right decision. It really is. Like, you think about the things that have held the Heat back over the last 5 years. It's been their inability to think forward, think for the future, and look to make moves to help them in the future rather than the team now. And they've been in their belief that, oh, this team can compete, this team can turn around. That isn't the case. Like, we've talked about these three specifically. Andrew Wiggins, Norman Powell, and Tyler Herro. All three of these players, I'm not going to say should be traded, but you should at least trade one or two of them if you are not getting Giannis or Ja Morant. Because it's just the truth that these guys are very unlikely to be in Miami 2 years from now. They are. And we're going to focus on Wiggins and Powell in today's show. But I also want to make the note, like, the Heat aren't going to win the NBA Finals. Spoiler alert. So far this season, yeah, we've dealt with injuries, but we're 25-22 and would be in the play-in if it started again. Yeah, Miami has a very easy 10-game stretch ahead of them. They play like one game against a team that is above 500 and in the playoff race, and that is the Celtics. But you play the Magic, you play the Bulls 3 times, you play the Hawks twice, you play the Hornets, you play the Pelicans, the Grizzlies. Like, you can rattle off 8 of your next 10 games and go to 33-24 on the year and be competing in the East. But there's just no way that you can actually come to the conclusion that you're going to beat the Pistons in a 7-game series, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Spurs, unless you get Giannis or Ja Morant, and they raise your ceiling to a point. But even if you don't do that, even if you do that, I should say, there's no guarantee. To me, you need to get proactive by looking to see what you can get in return in an Andrew Wiggins trade, in a Norman Powell trade. And Andrew Wiggins is the one that's going to generate the most value and interest around the league, in my opinion. We've already talked about it multiple times. We continue to see reports and rumors flood the internet. The Los Angeles Lakers and Golden State Warriors are two teams that are interested and may target Wiggins between now and February 5th. And before we talk more about it, should the Heat be sellers at the NBA trade deadline if Giannis does not request a trade? I think they should. Pin comment on today's show. Type Y for yes or N for no. As we look at Andrew Wiggins on the year here, his numbers have declined a little bit in terms of his efficiency, his overall field goal percentage, his overall three-point percentage. It used to be at 40%, now at 39% even. Certainly not really as efficient as he was, but there's still a ton of interest, and he's still been really impactful and good for the Miami Heat, to where if you are trading him, you are right in your belief and justified for asking for a first-round pick in return. And when you think really in depth about what you could get back from Golden State and Los Angeles, both are good returns. They are. Just based off Wiggins' salary plus his value, if you're Golden State, you're getting Jonathan Kuminga, but you're also going to get Buddy Hield because they can't take more salary back in a deal due to their apron situation, and you're getting a first-round pick because Kuminga is not valuable enough to swap with Wiggins. So getting a first-round pick, whether it's in 2026, 2027, 2028, it don't matter to me. I'd prefer 2027 because that would help Miami unlock more draft picks they can trade for Giannis, improving from 3 to 4 potentially. But you get what my point is. You're getting a first-rounder in return because you're likely only getting expiring salary, maybe a young guy, and then you need that first-round pick. If both are on the table, I have a hard time coming to the conclusion on which one I would prefer. I think I lean the Lakers ever so slightly because I do believe Connect could be a good piece off the bench for us and develop nicely in Miami. Plus, I like the expiring money in Rui Hachimura and Maxi Kleba a little bit more than Buddy Hield's contract, as he is here for multiple years. You have a team option in Kuminga. It's a tough choice either way, but if they're on the table, Miami should absolutely be taking one of them. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. The big game is here in football. Miami, not there, unfortunately, but we'll be watching New England and Seattle lace them up. And if you want to get in on the action in football as it comes to a conclusion, get started today where you get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 only on Prize Picks. They have injury reboots, so if one of your players gets hurt in the first half and does not return in the second half, you don't lose the lineup. That player just gets removed, and then the rest of your lineup carries on. You also have early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you don't even have to wait until the game finishes to cash out. I got my lineup in for the big game since Miami doesn't play today. More on Drake May passing touchdowns, more on Rashid Shaheed longest receptions, and more on Stephon Diggs receptions. I think this is going to be a very fun game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Join me and the millions of others on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. That is code CLNS at Prize Picks when you get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Final word on Wiggins before we move on here. I think out of the players on the Heat roster that you are trading away and not trading away to get someone better in return, I think without a question, Andrew Wiggins is the most likely one. He's got a lot of interest between Golden State and Los Angeles, and to me, it's the smart move. But where it really gets curious is to see what you do with Tyler Herro and Norman Powell. I've talked about it a lot. Some people disagree. That's fine. But I don't believe the two of them can coexist on the same roster. Because when you think about what they bring to the table, they both bring scoring and shooting into the backcourt, but both lack the ability to defend their own man and really as a team defender, which kind of handicaps Miami at a time to where you can't trust both of them to be on the floor together. But you can trust one of them to fit really nicely. You look at the two players this year, and obviously due to the minutes and games played, the numbers are a little bit skewed for Tyler Herro because it's a small sample size. But to me, it's a bigger enough size to realize that the Heat are not a good team this year with Herro on the floor. In his 11 games, it has not been good. The Heat are, in the ratings, significantly worse with Herro on the floor compared to when he's off the floor. In the opposition, you look at Norman Powell, he went on the floor. The Heat are significantly better to where he's off the floor. Defensive rating stays about the same, but the offensive rating jumps up massively. And that's the weird thing with Herro this year. He just has never clicked in this Heat system offensively this season. Because the defensive rating, although it gets worse ever so slightly, the offensive rating for him on the court is 7.5 worse than when he's off. It's just astounding to me to watch the Heat offense struggle so mightily with Herro on the floor compared to when he's off the floor. And the two can't really play well together that much either, which we'll have those numbers here in a second. But if you want daily, informative, in-depth content that is completely free, subscribe today because we'll have you covered every day, and we'll have the top trade coverage as well as the deadline approaches. Like, you look at the advanced numbers with Miami, with Tyler Herro and Norman Powell. Specifically when those two are working together. We obviously just showed overall Herro on, off, Powell on, off. But you look at when Herro and Powell share the floor together. It's not bad. It isn't. It's not great, but it's not horrible. +1 in the net. But this is where it's intriguing to me. If Powell's on the floor and Herro's off, it's a +3.8 net rating. But with Herro on and Powell off, they're horrible. -9.3 net rating. The offensive rating plummets. You saw the difference of Herro overall, but then comparison to when it's Herro on, Powell off, right? And then you see when both of them are off, nothing really changes. They're an equal team, slightly in the negative. Like, the conclusion that I have drawn from watching them on the floor together in the games that they have shared, to where you back that up with the advanced metrics that we displayed on today's show, the Heat aren't elite with them on the floor. Like, the justification of keeping both, paying both, and saying they need to play, it's not there because the numbers don't back it up. The eye tests don't back it up. And the numbers and the eye test show that the Heat are better with just Norman Powell on than Tyler Herro. And maybe it would be different if Norman Powell was the person playing 11 games this year and Herro played 41. You never know. But in the sample size that we have seen, that's the only possible conclusion that you can draw. But the confusing and tough thing is, which one do you hypothetically keep long-term and which one do you get rid of? Because Tyler Herro's in his mid-20s. Norman Powell's in his early 30s. Powell is a free agent this upcoming offseason. Tyler Herro has 1 year left on his deal, but is seeking a contract extension. So if you are going to keep both of them, or one of them, you are going to have to pay one long-term. But which one is it? I don't know. And I don't know if I can give you that answer. I think I would lean trading Norman Powell because he is 32 and he is a free agent this offseason. But the conclusion that I will come to and leave with you guys on this as well. No matter what you want to say, if you want to trade one of them, if you can get a first-round pick in return, you pull the trigger. And people are going to say only one first for Tyler Herro. Yeah, I think you'd be lucky to get a first-round pick at this rate. Seriously. Trae Young, Corey Kispert, and CJ McCollum. No draft picks. Ja Morant. Nobody's offering a first-round pick for him. And you could say, yeah, Tyler Herro might be evidently and slightly better, but Herro can't defend. He's in that same tier as Morant and Trae Young. He wants a new contract, and he's always injured. Unfortunately, Herro is not worth probably much more than a first-round pick. I don't even know if he would fetch that if Miami made him available. Norman Powell, he might get you a first from a contender. If you can get a first for either of these guys, I think you got to send it in because I don't see their trade value improving. I really don't. That'll do it for today's show. Appreciate everybody for watching this episode. You want more on the Heat, and if a move ever happens, we'll have you covered there first. It's on my Twitter, so give me a follow.